What if I told you that in just 30 days, you could completely transform your ability to focus, crush procrastination, and develop study habits so strong they'd scare your past self? Sounds crazy, right? But here's the question. Will you participate? Imagine a world, not a fantasy land, but a version of our world where your future self is waiting. They've achieved what you're aiming for: top scores, peace of mind, self-respect, and the confidence that only comes from consistency. But to reach that version of yourself, you've got to pass through the gateway of 1 full month of commitment. 30 days. That's it. Not forever. Just a small chapter in your story with a massive impact. This is not just a challenge, it's an invitation from another world, a world where your potential is fully realized. So I ask again, will you participate? Psychologists have a term, behavioral activation. It's the idea that action creates emotion, not the other way around. You don't wait to feel motivated to study, you start studying, and motivation follows. Now here's the trick. 30 days is just long enough to shift from force to flow. Scientific studies show that the human brain can start rewiring habits in just 21 days. Add 9 more days to solidify them, and boom, you've built a small empire of self-discipline. You've entered what we call the autopilot zone. But that autopilot needs to be trained. And that's what this month is for. Let's keep it real. No one wakes up a productivity monk overnight. You'll still check your phone. You'll still sigh before opening your textbook. But in this month, the difference is you won't stop there. It starts with a ritual, a study routine. Wake up, 10 deep breaths, set your intention, 25-minute study, 5 minutes break, repeat, 1 task at a time. No multitasking. You're not Google Chrome. And even Chrome crashes. And yes, you'll mess up sometimes. You'll skip a session. That's okay. Missing once is a mistake. Missing twice is a habit. So you bounce back. This month is not about perfection. It's about persistence. Close your eyes for a second. Picture yourself in an alternate universe. You've committed 30 days of real effort. You've built a system, not just hype. You walk into class more confident. You understand topics faster. You've even got a sparkle of peace in your mind. Why? Because you honored your word to yourself. This version of you didn't rely on motivation. They relied on a system. Think of it like building a rocket. The hardest part is liftoff. But once you're in orbit, everything gets easier. This is the other world you're entering, a world where the hard things become easier because you became stronger. Now let's talk straight for a moment. We've all been there. You open your book and suddenly realize the wall is more interesting than your notes. You reread the same line 6 times and still don't know what mitochondria do. But here's a tip. Make it fun. Seriously. Use memes to remember facts. Record your voice explaining the topic and pretend you're a podcast host. Create flashcards like you're preparing for a game show. Studying doesn't have to feel like punishment. It's just a skill, and you're leveling up. Break your study goals into quests. Reward yourself after each one. Gamify the process. And if you fail a quest, respawn. You're not in school. You're in an RPG. Every hero needs a progress map. Get a calendar. Digital or paper, doesn't matter. Each day you commit, mark it. Big red X. Boom. That's your war paint. You'll start to see streaks, patterns, momentum. You won't want to break the chain. And that visual reminder, that's your progress becoming real. Here is a pro tip for you. Find an accountability partner. Someone else who's also doing the 30-day challenge. Text each other daily, even if it's just studied for 40 minutes today. That micro support builds macro results. The ancient Stoics had a principle. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. We delay studying because we imagine it will be awful. But the moment we start, it's not that bad. Sometimes it's even fun. This whole month is a battle against your inner resistance, not your intelligence, not your memory, just that little voice that says, not now, maybe later. Your job, gently but firmly say, no, now. Every time you do, you build what the philosophers call virtue, what modern psychologists call resilience, what students call getting stuff done. So here's the mission. 1 month, daily action, no perfection, just progress. Study like your future depends on it, because it does. Remember, you're not doing this to impress anyone. You're doing it to meet the version of yourself who never gave up. They're waiting for you. On the other side of commitment, so I'll ask one final time, will you participate? If your answer is yes, then comment below. Challenge accepted and subscribe, because we'll be dropping more strategies, tools, and motivational tips. Remember, your future self is watching.